Bach. Well, actually, I guess I really didn't leave, did I? It was last week where I mentioned that it might be my last cooking in pajamas because I was going back to work. But here I am again, cooking in pajamas. It is day 41 of shelter in place for a lot of people. I was able to go back to work. I'm working 40 hours at the shop. It's kind of a small crew. There's not a lot of overtime, so I do have some spare time on my hands. I got some encouraging notes from people asking if I could continue the cooking in pajamas. And I really appreciate the notes, especially want to say, thanks, Mom! Thanks for the encouragement. So it keeps me out of trouble. My mom always says when I do things like this, she says, well, at least it keeps you out of the tavern. Well, right now all the taverns are closed, so you don't have to worry about me being there, Mom. So I am going to do another episode today. This one has kind of a northern Michigan flair to it. A couple of years ago, I got a smoker for Father's Day from my wife and kids, and I'm learning how to smoke. It's a learning process. Some things I do very well, and some things I don't do very well. It is May 1st. Like I said, it's day 41 of shelter in place for a lot of family and friends that are still stuck at home. And here in Michigan, it's going to be at least 2 more weeks of shelter in place. So today we're going to be smoking something. Now, in northern Michigan, in May, there's something else that's going on, and that is steelhead starting to run in the Asabo River. Now, I have some friends who do some steelhead fishing. I'm over here. Who do some steelhead fishing, and I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there, oh, he is going to be smoking steelhead. This is awesome. Well, my friends aren't that good of friends. They don't give me steelhead, but I won't say who they are. Jerry and Andy. Excuse me. But there is something else that is running in the rivers as well right now, and if you're out fishing, you're very familiar with them, and that is suckers. Now wait. Don't hit the dislike button. Don't hit unfriend me. Hear me out on this. I was doing a lot of research. Now, there's a lot of suckers running out there right now. Got on YouTube, looked at some different videos and ways to handle suckers, and I found a recipe that looks pretty good for smoking them. Now, the big thing with fish like this, with suckers or what they consider garbage fish, is making sure you have a good brine. Now, I do want to thank Andy. He brought me a couple suckers. I said I would like to try this. I have never smoked suckers. I have never smoked fish. So this is going to be a learning thing for me. And I will be completely 100% honest. If it tastes like a cow pie, I will let you know, and I will never, ever do it again. But since we have such a good supply of suckers, I thought, well, it'd be nice if we could find a way to cook them. Now, I had a friend of mine, Carl, gave me some smoked whitefish a few years ago. Kept them in chunks in the freezer, and they were great for making like a dip. I would flake that smoked fish, I'd mix it with sour cream cheese, and some onions, and it made a great dip. So I got to thinking, if I could do that with a carp, or do that with a sucker, that would be great. So that's what we're going to try and do. The first thing we got to do is we got to make a brine. That seems to be very, very important in smoking fish. Put them in a brine for 24 hours. Now, like I said, Andy gave me these suckers. I am going to, I'm going to cut them up in about thirds here, though. He did a really good job on them. I'm going to cut the tail off, and then I'm going to cut them probably in about thirds here. There. He took off the heads, and he took out the guts. He cleaned off some of the scales. We're going to put them in the brine here. After I get cut up, that is. The meat looks pretty good on them. I know some of you are saying, is he really going to cook a sucker? Yes, we are going to smoke sucker. Now, like I said, of a lot of the research I did, the important thing is the brine. Now, brine, start out with 2 quarts of cold water. Then, a half a cup of salt and a half a cup of brown sugar. You also put in a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. And also on top of that, something else I'm going to add right here is I got a lemon. Take a whole lemon, cut it in half, and squeeze it all in there. Squeeze that lemon juice in there. Don't worry about the seeds. Squeeze it in there. Put your lemon juice in there. And then you make sure it all gets dissolved real well. All dissolved in there real well. Okay, once you got it all dissolved, then what you do, you pour it over the fish. Pour that brine right over the fish. And there you go. Now, like I said, the important thing is that you gotta let it set for 24 hours. We'll put a lid on this. We will put it in the fridge. 24 hours from now, we put it in the smoker. See you tomorrow. Okay, it's been 24 hours. The suckers have been brined all night, and now I'm going to put them in the smoker. I got an electric smoker. I'm using cherry chips, wood chips in it, and I also got a drip pan with some water in it. Like I said, this is a new experience for me. I'm going to set my smoker at about 210 degrees. You want to get your fish hopefully to about 185 degrees. I'll check it with a meat thermometer. But I don't know how long it's going to take, so I'm going to set them in there. I'm going to come back in about 4 hours and check them, see what they look like. Some of them are in there. You also want to pat them dry after you take them out of the brine with a paper towel. And then I'm going to put them in there. Got the others already in there on the drip pan. Close it up, keep the heat. Remember, if you're looking, it ain't cooking. So we'll come back and check in about 4 hours. All right, here we are. It's actually been 5 hours that I've had him cooking here. Got him in the smoker. Smoker was set at 210. Cherry wood chips. Look at them. That's what we look like 5 hours later. I did an internal temp of 180 degrees. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take these off, take them inside, and give them a try. Okay, here we are. Michigan smoked suckers. I had them brined for 24 hours and smoked them in cherry wood for about 5. And we're going to give it a try. Now, I've told some friends what I was doing, and I told them, I said, you know what, I'm going to be honest. If it's terrible, I'm going to tell you it tastes terrible. But it's got the skin, because you left the skin on, you took the scales off and left the skin on. Ooh, I tell you what, look at that. Whew, that actually looks really, really good. I'm going to take some of this. The meat's all nice and flaky. Look at that, how it should be. I'm going to flake some on there. Put some on a cracker. All right. Got that? Oops, there's a bone. It's a sucker. Of course there's bones. Let's give her a try. My honest opinion, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. It's actually not real fishy tasting, which was surprising. I thought it would taste very fishy. It's actually really, really good. Got a good smoke taste to it. You know, we got a good supply of suckers up here, and this is a good way to do them. I'd certainly do this again. Like I said, you can take these and freeze them, and if you want to make like a dip, take the skin off and flake all the meat apart, mix it with some sour cream and cream cheese, make a great, great dip. Funny, you know, when I started this, I didn't know how it was going to taste. I told you if it tastes like a cow pie, I was going to let you know, but it ended up tasting really good. But you know, sometimes things are like that. Sometimes things taste good, sometimes things taste bad. Sometimes in life things are going good, sometimes in life things are going bad. But you know what, we can keep our hope and our trust in an unchanging God. James wrote this, James 1, chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. He said, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete and lacking nothing." You know, maybe you're going through some trials right now with all this stay-at-home stuff. Maybe life doesn't taste too good right now. But you know what? Trust in God, knowing that even through these trials, He's working something to your good. Glad to be cooking again. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.